Hello, I'm James Nelson. I'm presenting this video to go over issues of gender, sexuality, sexual orientation in religion, scripture, and history. And this video is the addendum to some of the background reference material that I had put together in my previous video. And in the course of that video, the question began to arise, well, now what? So to begin with, I think there are a few different aspects of Christianity that I think would be helpful to address that speak more to the tradition, the apostolic tradition, according to some of the writings of the early church historians. I view this material as more true to the faith or more true to the gospel, both as a chronological factor, but also demonstrated by the hostilities that I had addressed as it related to the issue of the Council of Nicaea. So I had brought up a few references or resources that addressed a different type of Christianity, especially in the example of the Epistle of the Apostles. Obviously, current Christianity does not take that particular point of view as part of the mainstream understanding of Christianity, and in fact, some people would say that that would be an interpretation that would be considered Gnostic in nature. But another reference or resource that I think is very helpful that kind of comes into context with the Epistle of the Apostle, especially the words that I had addressed in the words of Christ about this descent from heaven through the seven heavens into this earthly realm. The work called The Ascension of Isaiah is a pseudo-epigraphical work. It's a work that is very early in Christianity, and obviously Isaiah did not compose it directly, but it had been written in a number of different forms that can be broken down according to different themes or ideas I think are helpful to explain aspects of the Christian faith and its emergence from Judaism, especially through the shift, I suppose, its shift or supposed shift of themes and ideology that are, one, addressed in the accusation of Belkira in that story against Isaiah, calling him out on a type of heresy or using some of his vision to accuse Isaiah of being either better than Moses or perverting or changing the Mosaic law back then. The narrative in The Ascension of Isaiah explains Isaiah's perspective as he is lifted through the heavens to the seventh heaven and sees the decree of God the Father to Christ to descend in each of the heavens in a different form so that he's not recognized to come down to the earth. This is an independent but related work to the Epistle of the Apostles, where the Epistle of the Apostles gives Christ's perspective of this particular action or descent that supposedly is, according to the Ascension of Isaiah narrative, gives the perspective of Isaiah's version or view of Christ's descent from heaven to the earthly plane. So my question in this is, how different is this particular narrative to the established Mosaic law at that time? It seems as if, from the narrative of the Bible, in a number of cases where it seems as if Judaism does not consider the possibility of man being taken up to the seventh heaven. It seems as if their concept involves man just being in a more perfected state, but in this terrestrial realm, which is at odds with the idea of Christianity, and it's unclear fully how the impact of this idea spreads out from there. A few things to take into consideration, especially in the Ascension of Isaiah, is the accusations of the false prophet Belkira against Isaiah, saying that he had seen God and lived, where Moses had previously said that no man can see God and live. And then we have another issue of the son of Hezekiah, Manasseh, is privy to some of this vision after his father dies, but this vision had happened a few years before he ascended to the throne, when Hezekiah was still alive, and the vision is put under seal for a period of time, and then upon Hezekiah's death is given to Manasseh. And given the narrative of the Ascension of Isaiah, Manasseh is afflicted or somehow associated with Samael and is kind of a servant of evil. But he, as the son or now new king, is privy to this now vision of Isaiah. And given the association of Manasseh, it gives a very early instance where the ideology that is put forth in the ascension and the ascension and vision of Isaiah is allowed for alternate theories or other heresies or other thought processes on what exactly is happening in this vision. And I would even say that some of the theory that we've been handed down probably is rooted within this difference in translation or issue that I had addressed in the video as it pertains to the person of the Alma, and that aspect as it pertains to addressing the conditions of the fall through Mary in this situation. So the idea that when Jews say that Alma means the young woman here is a way for Samael to present this material to be able to obfuscate this aspect of the female who has a particular virile attraction to males versus a likely more pure version of a female who is not interested in males at all, still consenting to generation or to generate against her nature. This is further explained in another work, the questions on Hebrew that is written by Jerome that pertains to Genesis. Another question or consideration that I have is, knowing all of this material, how would one practice being a Christian in today's world? And I really don't have an answer to that. I welcome a good faith dialogue or conversation about how to incorporate this, but I had hoped to be able to consolidate the number of denominations through going back to such an early type of Christianity to be able to grow the church in that direction. My efforts have been to work with some of the religiously affiliated gay support, LGBTQI supporting groups in the area to at least give some people a sense of dignity and try to stave off some feelings of suicide in people that are questioning their orientation, their religion. I had been in contact with the local Catholic Church and the parish here in Seattle. I had presented some of this information to one of the associate priests there and was taking some time to get more background information about the Catholic Church with the unspoken intention of presenting this material to the Pope as well. Along the way, I had also made plans to speak with this material to the priest that's actually the head of the parish, and had learned that there's an internal process in the Catholic Church to address issues like this, something called the magisterium, which I would like to address as well, or have a conversation about this. Sadly, the head priest was willing to listen, but I didn't feel was on board with the overall effort. Thankfully, though, he was able to provide me with a number of academic journals to be able to publish, though my strong point is not in that direction, but I would be willing to, and I would love to have more help in this realm to be able to do that. I wonder, at what use is this material, this video, or this type of media? Another area that I want to address as well is my own previous association with the Mormon Church. I, again, don't consider myself a Mormon, at least practicing. I still am enrolled in their church, but I think that this material is clearly in conflict with the doctrine that's established in that particular religion, considering the fact that this is the material that I am basing my faith on. I think it's important to say clearly, while the current church does not hold to any of these doctrines, it seems incompatible with the established doctrine. What the Mormon Church has taught is that there is a version of the Apostolic Church that had been lost and provides itself as the restored church in these latter days. But given the evidence that I've been presented so far and the nature of a number of different things, but I think a good one is the spirit of the gospel, I don't see how the current Mormon Church doctrine holds any standing. So these are the major considerations and issues right now, and the direction that I want to see things go forward from here. I wanted to thank you for following all of this information and staying with me on this. Either get in touch with me if you would like to see more videos. I will try to continue with some videos as it relates to other aspects of the gospel. I'm already seeing a few, especially as it relates to the place of males in the future. For instance, just as an example, with eunuchs traditionally being associated with the royal families or whatnot, this kind of rediscovering a number of these elements in history seems to point to a direction where people that have been traditionally oppressed by religion are given the opportunity to be gathered together. It's almost as if this household that the Lord has in store for us is being needs more servants to serve the king with, the eunuchs that serve the king. So I don't know exactly how that will exactly happen, but I don't know how that will happen fully, but that seems to be a direction to where some of this material is heading. So please look forward to my other videos, and again, thank you for watching.